Oops. Am I in the right chat? No one's here.
Oh, hold on.
Hi, Lee.
Do you want me to put it down? Is that a dog?
It's a little yapper dog barking at him. Give me a treat.
Hi, Conti.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Safe and round for you.
Thank you. Otherwise known as the seat by the bathroom.
How's your meal? Any news?
They have got the plans.
Uh-huh.
He's sending those to his architect slash builder to look at that. And there is an inspection scheduled for Monday.
Okay. Moving right along.
Actually, just told him. Son has.
What, baby?
I was looking in on him, I'm sorry.
They're all overnight. They're all gonna arrive the next day.
Okay.
My last one's for next month.
Hype about it. Okay, slowly roll, homie. But again, happy birthday to anyone who was celebrating.
All right. It's my 80s vibe. I double I'm gonna grab my coffee. I'll be right back.
Hello, Rhonda.
Hello, darling.
Just to let you know, last week you weren't here. Kyle was cheating on you with Peggy.
Oh, yeah?
They were sitting together on a chair and stuff.
This guy's very promiscuous. That guy.
Damn pretty boys.
No.
Can't trust them.
He's not loyal.
You do whatever you want.
Exactly, I guess that's the point.
You're just doing-
You do whatever you want.
He's got a full head of hair.
We're over that.
He can even get away with prostitution. It's not the same.
Hi, everybody on Zoom.
I know.
How is everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Usually it's like a
Hello.
day.
Hello. Hello, mate.
Thank you guys for those of you that are turning on your cameras. Give us a second. I think we've got most people here. I am super excited about today's class. I have been watching tons and tons of videos and taking notes and collecting what I think is some really good stuff. Where are you going? I'm gonna close this door. Tell Kyle Ken we're waiting for him. So yes, so I don't normally practice these, but for some reason last night I decided I was going to record myself and actually maybe use it for a recording on PLU or something. So I sat there for like 45 minutes in front of my computer and I did the presentation and then I realized I forgot to hit record. So I literally like spent my evening just talking to the computer. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and let's get going. Hi, Maria. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
It's on your poll last week
My poll?
on the
Did I do a poll?
Instagram with the Florida stuff.
Oh, cool. That I didn't do that.
Oh, I thought you did.
Well, no, Bridget and Desiree do our marketing
Yeah,
and,
the
and our,
little
it's,
Florida thing with
yeah.
the Florida animals
Yeah.
and everything else.
yeah, I mean, you guys should know from our past. Exactly. Okay, so today we are going to talk about some new and improved strategies when it comes to our buyer lead calls. Like I said, I'm super excited about this. Okay, so to get the most out of the next hour, we talk about this idea a lot of like getting comfortable being uncomfortable, but it truly is the best way to grow. And so whether you are brand new in real estate or brand new making calls, whether you are experienced, it's going to be a little bit of a mindset shift. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about asking different questions. And so I just want to encourage you to be okay with changing something, no matter how much experience you have, even you, Maria. I want you to trust the process. It is the things I'm talking about today are all proven. They're taken from other teams that have used it and have had success. And lastly, I would love for you guys to take some notes. Of course, the presentation will be shared. And I also would love for you guys to practice because role playing is absolutely critical when it comes to our calls. We want to be practiced and confident. And when you role play, you get more confident. So the goals for this class are to help you guys set more first appointments, to prevent you from wasting time and to help you convert more leads into clients and then closings. So we are going to talk about 4 different things when it comes to buyer calls. The first is how to handle when somebody calls with a specific question on a specific property. The second is an acronym for buyer calls. For those of you guys that have done my the 5-part buyer call strategy, this is, I think, an improved version of that, a little bit easier. The third thing is, how do you handle when someone says to you, I'm going to wait a year, which we all know, we've heard, right? And the last thing is your intro statement. So that is our agenda. Okay, now before we launch into it, my question to you guys is, how many more transactions do you think you could close in a 12-month period if you were better on the phones?
12-month period.
In a 12-month period?
Probably like
30. 30.
I was gonna say anywhere from 2.
So, okay, so 2 to 3 a month, that's huge. So that's like what, 24 to 30 plus more closings if you are better on the phones. So if that's not testament enough to the fact that all of us should be extremely careful of what we say, how we say it, we've got to have a strategy. We can't just wing it. It doesn't work. And so with that being said, I really want you guys to think about some of these strategies that we're talking about today, because I would love to see you, Roni, have 24 more transactions this year, or Maria, you have 30 more.
Good time for them to
Okay, it's role play time. So I would like Courtney to help me with the role play. We are going to start with what happens when somebody calls and asks a specific question on a specific property.
Ring, ring. I'm calling you.
Okay,
you're the
right.
agent.
Hi, this is Jordana with Premier Listings. How can I help you?
Hey Jordana, this is Courtney. I was looking on Zillow and I found this property. It's 123 Main Street. Does it have a bedroom and bathroom downstairs?
You know what? Let me check. I'm not sure.
Oh, wait, I'm reading right now. It says right here, bedroom and bathroom downstairs. Okay, I don't need your help
Oh,
anymore.
well, is there anything else I can do to help you?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, bye. Okay, so obviously that was an example of, unfortunately, what probably happens often when somebody calls and asks about a specific property. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've had those calls, and what I do is I scramble to pull up the listing real quick and to try and answer questions about a property that I really know nothing about, right? So instead, what we're going to talk about is ways that you can take control of the conversation and remove the focus from that specific property. Because guess what? If that specific property, like in that case, she figured out that information on her own, she no longer needed me. And she was quick to be like, I gotta go, right? So instead, I'm gonna show you with these 3 questions, how you can convert a lead just like that into an actual client. Get out your pad and pen. I feel like a teacher. Oh, but I gotta take a
I threw a pencil.
Maria, where are you going? This is the best part. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to just listen, Kyle, you're free to.
I did participate.
Okay. So if you watched my Instagram story, I did give a little bit of a hint to one of the questions. So the first question I want you guys to ask, when would you like to see it? Ooh, could you guys mute yourself, please? Okay, so here's why that's so important. What you're doing is you are showing them that you are the right person because you can set up a showing, and that's probably what they want. You're also shifting the conversation away from that one property into something entirely different, into, okay, when are you available? So it's no longer about whether or not it has a bedroom on the first floor or whatever she asked, which, by the way, I'm going to find out. But I want to divert the conversation because I want to take back control. I want to be the professional. I'm the one making a commission. So I know what you're thinking. Yes, Kyle.
I was just gonna say that I like when you say when, not would.
When would you like to see it? Yeah,
Yeah, not would. So just be careful that word when.
that's a really good point. Yeah, that's a
When is an answer, would is a yes or no question.
Exactly.
yeah. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what if I can't show the house? What if it's already under contract? Or I don't even know this person. Okay, remember, you are not committing to actually showing them anything. All you're doing is creating a hook And that hook is going to open up the communication to lead to other information that you need to know before, because you're going to decide whether or not this person is wasting your time, whether or not you want them to become a client of yours. So understand that question is going to give you back control. Don't worry about the actual showing or not. Okay, that's question number one. Question number two. What else would you like to see? So again, with that one question, you are quickly showing them that you are capable of showing them other homes in the area. And remember, now they obviously have a need. What you're doing is showing them that you can be that person to satisfy that need and that they called the right person. You being the realtor, because guess what? You want to represent them. You want to be their client and help them with their purchase. So that's question number two. Question number three, what is it that you like about this property? What that does is that one question will pull out their motivation. So I can pretty much promise you that if I were to ask Courtney, why do you like the bedroom on the first floor? That is going to get her talking. She's going to start telling me about maybe she's got young kids. She wants to be in the same floor as them. Maybe she has a bad knee. I mean, who knows? But it's going to enable me to continue the conversation and go a little bit deeper. Okay, now when they are talking, what are you doing?
Listening.
That's right, Conti. You are listening, because that's going to open up the conversation even more.
Take notes. Take notes.
You can add value by listening, and that's also helping you build rapport. And again, all of that is helping them get closer to buying the home and you being the right person to help them buy that home. So
Also gives you enough time to look up the property online while you're asking the questions. You have all, by that time you have all.
you absolutely can, although if you can't for any reason, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not in front of my computer. Let me call you back when I've got more information, other listings I can show you, because we want you to provide value in the sense of being able to help represent them in their purchase, not just answer questions on the phone. So it's just like a free information guide, you know, like a free information hotline. I'm going to call Claudia and find out if that's a pool. Okay, thanks, bye. I just wasted 5 minutes of your day and the client got what they wanted, but you didn't get what you wanted.
And this reminds you, you don't have to always be in front of your computer. You're driving, you guys.
Yeah.
You're with your family or whatever. You're at the beach sometimes, and that phone rings. You're not gonna have your computer in front of you. So
And I don't want
that's
anyone
how you
to,
get around that.
right, so you don't have to act like you are. It's okay for you to be honest and say, I'm actually in the car right now. I'll give you a call when I'm back in front of my computer, or I'm out at the grocery store. All of those things are totally fine. So, sorry, yeah, honesty. Okay, who remembers the 3 questions? What's question number 1?
What would you like to see?
Perfect. Question number 2.
What else would you like to see?
What else
What else would you like to see? What else would you like to write? And question number 3.
What is like
Perfect. Okay, so this specific strategy is designed to be simple. I want you to memorize these questions. And when somebody calls, because we all know when realtor.com leads call, or maybe they're on the site, they're calling and asking about a specific property. So Courtney, you want to try it again?
Yep.
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Hi. What am I? sorry.
You just-
Okay. Hi, this is Jordana with Creamer Listings. How can I help you?
Hi, Jordana. This is Courtney. I was looking at this property on Zillow. It's 123 Main Street. Can you tell me, does they have a bedroom and bathroom downstairs?
Well, when would you like to see it?
Oh, this afternoon?
Okay, you know what? What else would you like to see?
I'm not sure. I think I just want to see this property. Like,
Okay.
I think this is the one. but-
So what is it about this property that you like?
I like that. I think it has a bedroom and bathroom downstairs. but I also noticed it has a pool, and I like that it's 2-story because I have kids and I want them upstairs and I want like privacy.
Oh, I totally get it. I have 2 kids too, and I absolutely, my bedroom's on the first floor.
And I like the neighborhood. I've been to that neighborhood. I really like that.
Oh, you have
So-
seen it already. So
Well,
have
I
you?
know the neighborhood.
Okay, so you haven't seen any other homes yet.
No.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is pull up information about this property and others, and I'll give you a call later on tonight when I'm in front of my computer, and we can schedule some showings for tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Thanks. Wait, you said this
Although I said
afternoon.
today,
Oh. Okay, well, so clearly I need to practice more, but you guys get the idea. So
Well,
obviously, yeah, there's a very big difference, right, between the first call and the second call.
Yes.
Right? Do you guys see how much more strategy there is in the second call?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
And you're taking control of the conversation.
You
Which is-
you are taking control. you know, it's very.
It's natural.
You don't think that anything else is
Right.
there is happening, but you are taking control.
Exactly. So in my next slide, that's exactly what I just wrote, which is the fact that if you ask the right questions, you will be the one to stay in control. I want you guys to remember what your goal is, which is to set the appointment and determine, is this person worth your time or not? And those 3 questions are going to help you with the discovery stage. I could have obviously continued on with the role play. Once she opened up to me about having kids and 2 stories, I could have continued on with, are you approved? What price? All those other questions would have come naturally from that point. Cool. So that is our kind of first section. Now we're going to talk about general calls, because most of us are prospecting in the database, or maybe we're having just people are searching online and they registered. It's not necessarily a specific question. So I'm going to show you an acronym to help with those calls, because I'm really not a big believer in memorizing scripts. A script assumes that you know what the other party is going to say. I don't know that I want any of you guys to worry too much about a script, but I do want you to worry about, although interestingly enough, I did tell you to memorize those 3 questions. That's not a script. Those are just questions. And that's only when someone calls with a specific question on a specific property. So when you're calling to try and help somebody, that's an entirely different situation if you are making the outgoing call to them. So our first, I'm giving you an acronym. The first letter is R. So I want to talk about how important it is to have rapport. If you don't have rapport, doesn't matter if you use every other technique on the planet, the chances of you converting that person into a closing is very, very small. So first and foremost, especially on that first call, you want to try and, like what I heard her say, kids, I want to talk about my kids. You want to be a human, connect on a human level. So the R is for rapport. The D is for discovery. So one acronym, has anyone used this acronym before? The LP Mama acronym? Why are you looking at me like that? LP Mama.
Yeah.
Okay, so LP Mama is an acronym within an acronym.
Many
So-
times.
Thank you, yes.
I was about to send it in the chat like 2 minutes ago.
Well, I read your mind, Tove. So LP Mama is part of, no, hold on. Okay. So the LP Mama is an acronym within an acronym, and it's to help you with the discovery part of the call when you're trying to figure out get the information that you need to do your job. So let's talk about LP Mama. L is the location, right? You need to know, what areas are you considering? Price. What price point are you looking within? Motivation. Why are you moving? Agent. Have you seen other homes with other agents before? Mortgage. Are you pre-approved yet? Are you buying cash? And then appointment is you going in for the appointment. Now,
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
About the mortgage part? It's apparently important psychology to ask, are you buying cash or are you using a mortgage? Always say cash first, because someone using a mortgage won't care, but someone using cash may be slightly internally offended by your assumption, are you approved for a mortgage, rather than saying, like, do you have the cash for the purchase?
Wait, so someone using
cash, they may not express it, but they may feel almost like, why would he assume that I needed a mortgage? Why not ask, like, do I have cash?
Got it. Okay.
They told us that in Sync University, and like I've read about it in other places. It's just one of those like weird human psychology things.
Yeah, I like that. Very cool. Okay, so part of your goal, by the way, in this discovery part of your conversation, you kind of want to get information and answers to these questions without necessarily asking it directly. So as an example, you could say something like, well, what do you love most about this property? So I did that with Courtney in that example, and that told me a little bit about her motivation for the move. Another way you could get more is you could find out, or you could ask, how long have you been looking? That will tell me whether or not she's seen homes with somebody else, maybe another agent. So the LP Mama is an acronym within an acronym, because remember, what you're doing first and foremost is building rapport. And then you're going into the discovery stage where you're trying to figure out more about who they are and whether or not you can help them. So the next is the A, which is the appointment. So imagine a sports team that gets on the field and they have absolutely no objective. You've got to have an objective, and that objective has to be the appointment. You've got to go for the face-to-face, the looking in somebody's eyes, to seeing them to show a home, or going to their property for a listing appointment. And the last is N for next step. You don't want to end the call without scheduling the logical next step. Now, depending on their needs, whether that's next week, maybe the following month, next part of this training, we're going to talk about what to do when somebody's needs are further out. But either way, you are not letting them off the phone without having scheduled some version of a next step so they know what to expect from you, because you want to be their realtor. So, RDAN.
Pardon?
So I was thinking of maybe Dr. Ann. Okay, but so the R has to come first. So I don't know, however you guys want to remember it. If anybody has any other ideas for how we can remember this acronym, these 4 points are a little bit simpler to remember, right? Building rapport, going in for the discovery, asking for the appointment, and then setting your next step. Nobody has any ideas for how we can remember this? Just RDAN.
Rand.
Rand. I kind of like it being RDAN because that's the right order, sort of,
Yeah.
right? Or Rand.
Yeah.
Anyway, if
It
somebody can
definitely
figure
makes more sense in the order you have it in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about logical next steps. When somebody says to you, I'm not going to be ready to buy for a while. So I'm going to, right here, I wrote out what is the absolute worst response, which by the way, I'm absolutely guilty of. So if somebody says to me, you know what, Jordana, thanks for calling, but I'm not ready to buy until December. And I know you guys have all done this, right? We've all said, okay, well, I'll send you some properties. And is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of months and see where you're at? So it's seemingly the right response, but I'm going to show you why there's much better ways to respond. So a better way to respond is to say, well, okay, if you want to move in by December, we've got to start shopping in September or October. So why don't we get together again in August? Okay, so now you have a plan. That's a little better. You guys see how this is better than the first option, right? Okay, let's talk about best. The best case response to someone saying, I'm not ready to buy until December is not that. Okay, so I'm not sure if you know, takes about a month, maybe a month and a half to find the perfect home and then to go through the inspection and do everything you need to do to get to closing. So if you want to move in, let's say by December 1st, we've got to go under contract by, let's say, mid to late October. So really, we should probably start to meet in August to start shopping. So does that work for your time frame? And now that you understand the timing of how it works, when is a good time for us to start shopping? So essentially, the difference in this version is I'm putting it back on the lead, and the lead hopefully will say, oh, well, now that you explained it to me that it takes about a month and a half to close, it takes a few months to find that home. You're right. Let's do August. Let's put, and then you as the agent say, well, perfect. If you want to do August, let's put a time on the calendar. So you almost just kind of like trick them into telling you to call them in August. So that's a much better response to the long-term person. Yeah. So when somebody, again, I'll answer your question in 1 second. If somebody gives you a ways away, or they're like, I'm not sure, maybe I might buy in about a year. Your response to that is, well, just so you know, it can take anywhere from a month to a month and a half to close.
Right now.
Even longer, you're right. Well, I'm talking about once you're under contract. So once you're under contract, it can be a 30, 45, maybe 60-day close, but it takes a few months to actually find the home. It's really competitive. So I know that you are a year away. So but what I'm going to call you in this time. So put it on your calendar so you know that you're going to hear from me then, so we can start shopping. It's my job to keep you on my timeline. So Jeremy.
So for the long-term buyers though, I thought you didn't want us to like have a reminder that's more than a month out. So how do you kind of like?
No, I actually am okay. If you guys are building a rapport with somebody, so if you connect with somebody, let's assume you have this great conversation, you understand who they are, they've given you their time. I absolutely want you to get set that expectation for however many months away it is. If they're completely unsure of their move, then don't worry about the reminder. That would be someone that will maybe go back in the pond and we can re-engage with them later on when they're closer. Okay. But if somebody, in this case, this individual has a pretty set time. They want to buy in December, but we're in March. So someone like that who has a little bit more of a plan, if someone says to you, Jeremy, I'm not sure, maybe 2 years from now, that is somebody that I would not go through this whole thing for. I would say the thing about, I'll keep sending you properties and, you know, if you have any questions, let me know. But this is someone who says, I need to move in December.
Okay.
So we know this person's going to buy, but it's March. So rather than, okay, well, good luck, or keep looking on the site and I'll call you in a few months. This person is buying in December and you want to be the one to help them buy.
Another thing that I usually do for like someone who's like a year out, I always tell them, well, a year goes by pretty quickly. So at least let me get general information on what you're looking for. And then, you know, I would just add this as the next step.
Right.
So, just to keep them engaged, because some people will just blow you off.
Yeah.
So I'm a year out, so don't even worry about it.
Right.
I can completely understand that the year goes by pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a good
So-
response. I like that.
So can we at least, you know, get the general information? of what you're
Right.
looking for?
And then once you have the info, you can say, well, don't forget, it takes about a month and a half to close. It takes 3 months
So
to
I would
close.
add this To that.
Right.
So that be our next step, but if they try to blow you off in the very beginning, I would just say a year's goes by pretty quickly.
Right. So what I like about this is it's taking back control, right? So remember, you're the professional in this interaction. You're the one earning a commission for it. You have to be the one to say, this is our timeline. It's harder. It's when someone's buying, let's say in December, you know, they might not want to go through that in their head, but they need you to guide them, right? That's part of our job, is to help guide them through this process of what it feels like and what you need to do in order to get a home by December. If they don't know that, if you don't educate them, they might have no idea about when they should start looking.
December seems far off, but when we start backing it.
Yeah.
That it's like right there.
Exactly.
So another thing that I usually do for that is that if they are looking to get a mortgage, I always let them know that, you know, once again, before we know it, December will be right here, right around the corner. But also, it's always great to, if you haven't spoken with a mortgage broker yet, to at least speak with one to get an idea of what your purchase power could be, but also to game plan to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
And this will be a great time to do that, to put you in the best position to buy when ready.
I love that. I would just back into it with it. If somebody gives you a specific date, so only in that instance, I would love for you guys to back them into how close that really is and how long it takes for them to get pre-approved, for them to find a home. Remember, often these people that we're speaking to, they're not industry professionals. They don't know anything about what it feels like and how long it takes, right? And so part of our job is to, again, to guide them and give them that information so that they're more empowered. This is providing value, right?
How long does a pre-approval last?
90 days.
Is it just 90, and they're all mortgages are 90 days? Like all the
No,
different
not
ones?
necessarily.
60 to 90.
It really depends on the circumstances,
Okay.
but it can last as long as 90.
But it's good to let them know about the mortgage, because sometimes I say, maybe you can't buy right now, you don't know, maybe you can fix your credit, and we have all of this time for you to save, or, so I always point out.
Yeah.
And also I do that because I also want to see how invested they are into it. So if they do speak to the mortgage broker well ahead of time in the game plan,
Yeah, that means
this
that,
person is now serious. So I
Absolutely.
do that purposefully.
Yeah.
Purposefully.
on
To
purpose.
see,
Yeah.
to see how engaged they are into the process.
If they're ready to jump.
Great. Love it.
With the long-term buyers, I mean, what I've had some success with is I actually, you know, that I find that just the excuse to get the phone, right? I'm not looking for 6 to 12 months. So my answer is, well, that's okay. Most of our buyers are at least 6 to 12 months out.
Perfect.
But what I
Yeah.
found usually happens is I send them my website, you start looking for properties, so you have neighborhoods. And then when we get closer, we can narrow it down. I can set you a more specific search.
Right.
That takes all the pressure off. They don't feel like you're selling them. I give them all
Right.
the info. And then what I do is I set the reminders. I keep it in like the 2 to 4 week range, just to see if they're starting to look at properties.
Okay.
And then if they're looking at property, I'll send them an email or I'll send them a text. Hey, notice you're looking at some properties. Have any questions? Or at that point, you can follow up and say, well, I noticed you looked at a couple of properties. Any questions about communities that I can help you out with? Just to kind of touch base.
I love that. I love that strategy, because when you say to them, most
Right.
of, that's okay. Most of my clients are 6 to 12 months out.
Right.
That makes them almost like feel better. Like,
Right.
oh, I fit in. Everyone else is the same as me. You know, as humans, we all kind of want to fit in. And so that's a really, and like you said, it takes the pressure off. I love that. That's great.
So,
Cool. Anyone else have anything that they use with long-term buyers that has been helpful?
Yeah. I generally, I say like, you know, it's good that we make contact now because there's lots of questions that can come up like over the next 6 months or a year. And it's best to have someone that, you know, you can reach out to with any questions. And I use that as like an opportunity to make sure that they've received all my contact information, that I'm able to text them, like whatever the best form of contact is, and that, you know, they know how to reach me just in case.
I love that, because I think something else that we should all do is when you get somebody on the phone, they've given you their time, think of that as the last time that you could possibly speak to them. So like Tove is doing in that instance, he's confirming they have his information, they know how to reach him, they've kind of set that expectation that they can reach him. So they feel comfortable in a few months texting or calling because he told them that they could. So I love that. That's a great strategy. Anyone else? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about an intro statement. So I'm going to start with what not to do. So I don't know if you guys ever get these calls, but I get solicited a lot. And it's almost, sometimes people will call and say, hey, Jordana, how's your day going? And it immediately makes me feel uncomfortable. Because as humans, we all have a basic need for certainty, right? And it's really makes me feel uncertain because I'm like, do I know this person? And who are you? So I don't want you guys starting off your calls like that. Instead, I want you to give people what they want. I would be more responsive to somebody if they did this. They introduced who they were. Hi, I'm Jordana. I'm with Premier Listings. I'm a full-time realtor in Delray Beach, and I'm calling to see if I can help with your home search. So you say it with confidence, you say it with conviction, you give them exactly what they want. So if you haven't already practiced and perfected your opening speech or opening statement for those calls that you're making to those general calls, please do. Right? Please make sure you say it in a way that's confident, and because you have a couple of seconds before that person decides whether or not you're worth their time. So if you're stumbling over the first words out of your mouth, they're probably not going to have a very good feeling. It's that first impression, right? So they might not be willing to answer your questions when you keep going and ask more questions. You raising your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just so I can. Right?
Yeah.
So we're supposed to be building rapport.
Yep.
Initially.
Yep.
A lot, and this is just, you know, through normal conversations. People, when you do introduce yourself and let them know who you are, but how do you build rapport if I go straight into like sales?
So you're not going to go into sales. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can introduce yourself, Roni, without necessarily sounding salesy. So you don't have to even say the company name if you don't want to. You could just say, hey, it's Roni. I'm your realtor down here in Delray Beach. I saw you're looking online. Do you have questions for me? Or what's got you looking online today? And from there, the ideal scenario is they give you some information that you can then use to build rapport. This intro statement is not intended to build rapport. It's intended to give them certainty. You want them to know who you are and why you're calling. Now, you're going to build rapport eventually in like the second part, or as soon as any information they give you, oh, you know what, Roni, I'm actually in the grocery store. Whatever they say in response to that, that's your opportunity to build rapport and make them feel comfortable. The purpose of this statement is not to build rapport, is to let them know who you are so it's not scary, so that they have a little bit more certainty that you're a friendly voice trying to help answer real estate questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I have to say something that I practice everything. And if I say that I'm a realtor right away, it's not working for me. So I always say, this is Maria from Delray Beach, Florida, and whatever. But if I say I'm a realtor.
I love that. But either way, even if you say, hi, it's Maria from Delray Beach, you're still introducing who you are and why you're calling them.
I'm not saying I'm from with whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you a realtor now?
So,
and with all these years, I just tried everything, and this has been working for me.
So after you say, hi, it's Maria from Delray Beach, what's the next?
And I say, I noticed that you were looking for homes. And if I know the development is there, so sometimes I know.
Yeah.
Point or whatever. Sometimes I say, what is your situation? What are you looking for?
Okay. So I love that, but understand that what you're doing is exactly this. Right. I'm not telling you how to introduce who you are. You don't have to say, hi, it's Michael Conti from Delray Beach. Like you could say, hi, it's Mike from Delray.
Yeah.
You know, so all I'm saying is what I want you guys to do in that beginning statement, instead of I think, to me, it's more salesy to say, hey, Roni, how you doing today? What's going on in your world? Like, I don't know you, you know,
Yes,
but
why would I wanna tell you?
why would I
what
want to
to
tell you
do
what I'm
and
doing?
how
So what
to
I'm
do
trying to
it?
say is that the first words out of your mouth is a little bit about who I'm Maria. Why you're calling. I'm calling from Delray Beach, calling to see what your situation is. I saw you looking for homes online. So it's any version of that, but those three things, who you are, why you're calling, and what you want to know. If somebody called me and said that, like I get called a lot from different like lead services, right? And they almost always ask, hey, are you a realtor in Delray Beach? And I immediately like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, how do I, that's my immediate reaction. But if they say, hey, it's Jordana, I'm calling with, you know, this lead source in California, and we've got leads for you, you know, can I talk to you a little bit about how I can get you guys some more seller leads? That's a little better.
Yes.
Well, it's a little better. I'm probably not open to it anyway, but it's still a little bit, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I'm more open to somebody who tells, because I immediately feel, okay, I know why they're calling me. There's a little bit of certainty here. And then the rapport kind of comes after. So this opening, why are you making that face?
Just, I don't know, just, because I always feel like.
What is your opening statement now?
My initial is just kind of like, I leave it, I make it sound like I'm somebody they might recognize.
Okay.
So like if I call you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jordana? And it's like, yes, you're gonna respond because you're not sure.
Well, the reason I don't actually, I have a slide on that in like 2 slides from now. I
My
don't
first
like.
thing is, who's this?
Yep, yeah.
I
Well,
never say
so
that
the reason I
in-
don't like that is, when was the last time you called your best friend? Like if you're my best friend, I'm, hey, Roni?
Not
Like
your best friend,
no,
but you lost your phone, I lost my phone. I'm like, Jordana? And you're like, yeah, who's this? And then
what?
And then, oh, this is Roni, the realtor down here in Delray Beach. You were on my website looking at some properties yesterday.
I don't know that.
Something like that.
Okay,
You know,
but
is what it says.
honestly,
It's
but
still
it's still that. It's still this.
Yeah.
It's still introducing who you are, you're Roni, why you're calling because you're a realtor, and what you want to know. You want to know why they're looking on your site and if you can help them. So I don't know that I love the first thing, but if it works, go for it. Either way, you're still doing this, right? You're still saying who you are, why you're calling, and what you want to know.
Yeah, we hear like,
I also think
calling
it
for
depends.
sale by others, and that actually works.
Yeah,
Because they're like,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
what I was gonna
so-
say. I think it depends on what kind of phone call you're making. If you're
Right,
making
right.
A phone call that they've already called in and they've looked
Yeah.
at real estate, then I think this is fine.
Yeah.
If you're just randomly cold calling for listings,
yeah,
I think what Roni's saying is be a little bit more
Abs-
friendly. So, because if they're for listings, I've tried that and it's like, you know, the car warranty person is like, oh, gee, that 10 part.
Right, right.
Here, I agree with what Maria's saying on
Yeah.
that. So I think it depends on your
But
phone call.
all of these things are the same.
Right, right.
They're all the same version. It's all the same version of introducing who you are.
That's how you say it. You say it with confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can't even say the name because they're gonna say, no, I'm not, and you just know that that's your first.
right. So that's another,
Sometimes
that's,
I'm not even saying
yeah. So if someone says Roni, I'm no, even though it is
I would
Roni,
say, who's this?
you say who's this, right?
Yeah, I won't tell them my name.
Right. You won't even confirm that it's you.
Right.
So either way, listen, there are always going to be the leads that are not.
Everybody
that-
has
But it's
their
just
own
like-
way.
but
Yeah.
it's
That's
also-
business, so
Just like
it
you
works
said,
for
just
you.
like you said, it's about practicing,
Yeah.
being confident in how
Yes.
you're saying it and how you're delivering it.
Yes.
And then, you know, whichever might work for you. is
Right.
What it is, but the initial part is to introduce you who you are, so they're not talking to a stranger.
Right.
Let them know that you are talking, you're calling them on a professional level about something they inquired on.
Yep.
And then you're here to assist.
Absolutely. So I think the other thing that you said that's really key there is it really depends on the circumstance, right? If it's a for sale by owner, this is probably not the right opening for them. If it's somebody calling about a specific property with a specific question, this is not the right opening either. So this is specifically for when you're prospecting in the pond or when you have a general inquiry, you want to say who you are and why you're calling. If it's someone you've never spoken to before. If you've spoken to them already, don't say this because they know you. Like, you don't need to go through this. So understand when you use this. It's for someone you've never spoken to before. You had a question?
I was gonna say that the tone in your voice.
Yes.
It's very important. I mean.
I think that's my next slide. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, absolutely. The tone, the speed,
Yeah.
right? So I
Speed is
speak,
big.
I speak quickly, and if somebody calls me and speaks slowly, it really bothers me. Like, come on, let's go. I got things to do, right?
You're like the toughest.
I am absolutely,
You're the toughest.
I'm probably a tough call, yeah. Okay.
I did that the other day with this little guy called, and I'm like,
Yeah, could you hurry it up?
Can I put the end statement
there a
and then I'll
point- is
tell
there
you
a
what I
point to
think?
this conversation?
Seriously.
Right.
Dude, bring it in for a landing.
Okay, so, and this is another part of it, right? I want you guys to remember what we're doing. What we're doing is interruption marketing. So understand that the person that you're calling might be in line in the grocery store, they might be on, driving their kids somewhere, they might be out for a walk. And so that's part of why, if you're calling someone that you've never spoken to before and you're calling them about their home search, that statement about why you're calling, who you are and what you want to know is going to help, because you got to show your value right away. They're not interested in talking to you. They're picking out their fruit at the grocery store. You've got to explain, they're like, oh, you know what? I actually do have some questions for you, right? So understand it's interruption marketing. If you understand that, it'll help you kind of get to the point, right? And provide that value sooner in the conversation as you're also building rapport. So one thing that I would love, I know we're all guilty of this, is the just checking in. Hey, I'm just checking in. First of all, that word just is not a good, it's not a good word. But instead, I really would recommend that you call with an actual purpose or call with a specific property. Hey, Barry. Barry, how are you? I saw this property, it matches your needs. Can I send it over to you? Or calling with something specifically, right? The just checking in call, that's not you providing any value whatsoever. Even if you're calling and you are checking in, I want you to ask something specific. So, hey, I'm calling because Michael, last time we spoke, you were going to buy in December. It's now June. Are we still on track to meet in August? See how that's different than, hey, Mike, I'm calling to just check in. You're right. Sorry?
Just checking.
Yeah.
Like the worst.
It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
Nobody wants to be checked in.
Right. Nobody wants that. I know. Yeah, everything's good. Thanks so much for calling. I'm actually in the middle of something, call you back, Jordana. Versus, hey, Mike, last time we spoke, you were buying in December. It's June, just making sure we're still on track, right? So I'm calling with a purpose, which is to make sure you're still on track. So before you call anyone that you've either spoken to before in the past or somebody that's already in the pond, see if you could figure out what is your purpose. I'm calling because I want to know if that property you clicked on yesterday, is that the kind of home you're looking for? Because if it is, I can customize your search so you're getting emailed better properties. And that's value, right? You've got to give them value, not, hey, I'm calling just to check in. And you're like, oh God.
Always, as I said, open-ended questions. Nothing they can just answer with yes or no and get you off the phone. If they have to answer like that, they have to answer you in some way, shape, or form. Other than,
well, this is not an open-ended question. This is actually, can I send it to you? Yes or no?
right.
So I don't know that I agree with it has to be. I think in the very beginning part of a conversation, it's good to have an open-ended question because they can kind of answer in an open-ended fashion. I think it's more important. I'm okay with you asking whether yes or no questions or not, as long as you're calling with an actual reason for the call. And we have so many resources available to us in today's world with all this technology. You know what they're clicking on, when they registered, what homes they want. You could even call and say, hey, I'm calling because your saved search is this. Is that still the case?
Yeah.
Yeah, the point is that the term just checking in is an empty term. And if you're just checking in, then just ask the question that you want to ask.
Right. So sorry, what were you saying? You were saying
Just call and release.
Yeah.
They swear to you up and down
that it wasn't
did not
them.
Put their information in.
So, I mean, it depends. Like if that's someone that's brand new, if it's someone that has history, it's obviously them. So even if someone says that to me, I would use the opportunity to say, well, I sell real estate full time. You know anybody buying or like you can still try and, but that's kind of a different scenario than this.
No.
This is when you're calling somebody where you have activity, you have information on them. You want to call with a specific reason. Oh, this slide was meant to be in the beginning. As far as those 3 questions, if somebody asks about a specific property, does it apply when you're texting them? Yes, it does. Can you do that in a voicemail? Yes. When do you want to see this property?
I actually have a question. I've had a couple where I had specific properties.
Questions.
And they don't pick up the phone.
Right.
So then, of course, I would try to call back immediately and follow. If they don't pick up phone, I send them a text from my phone so they know it's me, and I also send them an email. How many days, I guess, is it to continue on that for that same inquiry? You know what I'm saying? Like how many times you
On that same inquiry?
They want to know about a specific property. So if I called them, I text them, I sent them an
So, okay,
email.
so when you text them, are you texting about the property specifically?
Well, like yesterday, for instance, they called about a property, they didn't pick up. They
Okay.
called my number back and they kept on hanging up on me. Right? It doesn't make any sense. So I
No.
actually sent them a text and
Yeah.
said, this is Michael from Premier Listings. I'm following up about your inquiry on the property.
Right.
Just let me know how you can help. If you're not interested, please let me know. I got nothing back. So.
Okay, so why don't you try next time,
Uh-huh.
instead of saying, just want to know how I can help,
Right,
why don't you say, when do you want to see it?
okay,
You know what
Try
I
that.
do?
Right.
I actually go to the MLS, copy the link, text them with the link and say I'm available at this time, at this time.
Right, so, but
Okay.
what she's saying is I'm available to show it to you, right?
okay.
So you can
That's
say,
great.
when do you want to see it and what else do you want to see?
But I send them the proper, they could be elderly people or whatever, and they don't even know where you're talking about. So if I copy the link, if they open, they'll see the house.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then as far as how often should you continue texting them? I mean, you should continue texting them,
Mhm.
I don't know,
Until
12
Until you stop.
Right.
until they
So,
tell
but
until
I'm
they
saying
tell you to
that's my-
stop.
yeah,
But it also depends, like, if you see that individual is now, let's say, opening up the emails or by clicking on a link, then it's even like more like, hey, I saw you clicked on the link. Do you want me to set up a showing for you?
Okay.
So if somebody just, they completely, like, there's no communication from them and you've tried 8 times, well, I probably would give up if they've
Okay.
never texted
Well,
open.
they ask them the question that way when I show it to you, it certainly
Yeah.
gives it a different slant.
Listen, I would love, there's really no perfect one size fits all response to anything.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is get you guys to be a little bit more strategic. These are specific tactics that you can use in specific scenarios. And I would love it if you guys used it and let me know, hey, this is working really well, or not.
Sometimes I notice they don't understand really how sync works, because I have clients that they're not ready, they're in Canada.
Right.
And they're like, I wanna see this property, and then I call them, oh, no, I just want you to say this, and this is the kind of property, so I know already. when
Right,
they're not gonna come, or they don't even want me to go to a video, so I notice that they don't know how.
Yeah, they get a little bit confused, absolutely. So a part of our job is to help educate them, not only on using what they click on, but also as far as how the process of buying real estate. Okay, so 3 tricks for not getting hung up on. One basic trick, if they say hello, say hello. If they say hi, say hi. Try to match whatever word that they open with. The second thing is, this is something that other coaches recommend. Bernie, I think you feel differently, it's up to you, but other people will say, don't say, hi, is this Joe? Instead say, hi, Joe, this is Jordana. I'm a realtor in Delray Beach.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
That's the thing, the assumption that I'm speaking to Joe.
Right,
Supposed
so,
to say, hi, is this Joe?
so you just say Joe?
I'll be like, Joe, like.
I
I don't know.
Is the assumption is that maybe I've talked to this person before. The thing is, you want to make them pause. That's the most important thing. If someone calls me and go, hey, is this Roni? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, but that's what, okay, so maybe I would love to do almost like an A/B test,
Mhm.
because I actually don't want to pause, and I think so I guess it depends on the individual.
Mhm.
If you call me and say, Jordana, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, Jordana, it's Roni, I'm calling because you clicked online. Do you have any questions, or what's got you looking online today? I would prefer that, but I think it depends on whoever's on the other end of the phone call. So I
And
prefer,
that's the same thing with this, like you said, because, personalities are different.
Yeah.
So, if.
matching them,
Exactly.
matching their
So,
tone.
That's why for me, the pause is kind of like to get the person to stay on a little bit longer, be like, either yes or no.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be no, if they call me. I'll think it's the bill collectors.
I feel like you're, yeah.
Nope, it's not Diana.
So, why don't you guys try it and see, like, Roni, you could even literally like make 10 calls and say, hey, Joe, and then another 10 calls, hey, Joe, it's Roni, and see what the difference is. There is no one way. What we're trying to do is improve the ratio of that we convert, right? And so understand that no one's going to convert every single call. No one's going to have a good experience on every call. That's part of our business. There's going to always be the no. We have to understand and go into this knowing that there are going to be no's, more no's than yeses, and that's okay. But what we're trying to do is get you to more of the yeses. Okay, the last thing is, if you have any legitimacy, use that. So for example, if it's a realtor.com lead, you can say, realtor.com sent over your information. I'm calling to see if I can help you with this property. What's got you looking online, or whatever it might be. So depending on where the lead came from, you can use that to create, okay, I'm not some stranger, I'm not a scammer, I actually got your information because realtor.com gave it to me.
I think when you're doing, cause, with, Charlie and,
Uh-huh.
we worked on filters.
Mhm.
for them. So
Yeah.
They were feeling a lot more comfortable with the calls they were making.
Uh-huh.
They understood the people. they were
Love
with.
that, yeah. So you could filter by source,
So exactly.
filter by
So I was gonna
realtor.com.
say, if you do that, you can have in your mindset, hello Jordana, this is Ronnie, I'm with realtor.com. You just were on,
Yeah.
website of mass property.
Yeah. And if they're older leads that have been in the system for a while, but they came in, let's say 100 days ago from realtor.com, you could also, that could be your purpose.
Yeah.
So, hey, Roni, it's Jordana with Premier Listings. I got your information from realtor.com. I noticed about 100 days ago, you're looking online. Are you still looking for a home in South Florida?
Cool.
So I'm calling with a purpose versus, hey, I'm calling with check-in on your search. How are things going? You know, so it's a little bit more direct.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what happens is people that are less experienced, you know, it's really difficult having a sales conversation with a stranger. And it's absolutely natural, even if you are experienced, to have fear and anxiety about that. Maybe you get nervous and you stop paying attention or you stop listening. So I want to remind you guys, number one, listening is important. And number two, it takes a ton of practice. I forgot to delete this slide. For every phone call, everyone asks the right questions to set the appointment. And it's a weird video, so I can't even go to the next screen. This is the last, I have one more slide of the presentation, and that slide basically just says, who's ready to close more deals? So let's see, it's 11:18. I'm absolutely happy to do some role plays with anybody and trying out any of these strategies. I think we have a couple of like small updates for everyone. I know next Wednesday is the Habitat for Humanity. Next Thursday, thank you. Not, no.
It's a 30th.
It's a 30th.
Yeah.
It's on a Wednesday. I know it's on a Wednesday.
And then the other thing on Friday.
Yeah, the grand opening is on Friday from 4 to 6, just to make sure everyone knows we're not providing transportation. So, but there will be a valet there because parking is going to be a little bit of an issue. Because of the ribbon cutting, please try to get there not too late because of the fact that we're having, the Chamber of Commerce come.
And it's 4:30.
It starts at 4. It's from 4 to. No, it's 4.
Every day when the parking lot?
You don't want people to be late, I'm trying.
I'm never-
4:30 is late.
No, it's
3:30.
Oh, 3:30. Oh, sorry. Anyway, it's 4. Just come at 4.
We have
You need to do
tomorrow.
that with the Latino.
Oh, thank you. We have a photography class tomorrow
From 12 to 1,
from 12 to 1, and that's here. Is she still bringing lunch? Was she supposed to bring
I
lunch?
believe so.
Can I give you a tip about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do makeup.
Yeah. If they go,
Oh,
I
God, I
already
know.
used her. If she's going to do your makeup, I can show you my pictures that she did.
Oh, I know, I had the worst one that
Oh,
Clyde
come on.
Daniel, the
Remember?
worst, oh,
Did
the
you have-
worst.
I mean, I did makeup.
It's the worst.
I didn't make it
The
back.
worst.
Yeah, exactly.
We did it, we
I
already-
didn't make it back.
We already did.
Is that the same person?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can tell us what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same photographer, I don't know if it's gonna be.
Oh,
the
my
same
God.
person.
The photography was fine.
The
makeup
was
was
terrible.
I can help with
The makeup in here was.
Kyle's volunteering to contour.
I had them touch me a
Worst
little
picture-
bit,
the
but
worst
lipstick
I've ever
on.
seen.
I mean,
I
just
was
say,
great.
just say this little bit. because-
Okay, so I think the feedback is let's use her for photos, not for
Yeah.
makeup.
Yes.
But I think the class is more about teaching us about how ourselves to take photos, if I'm not mistaken. Courtney went to get Bridget and Desiree to see if they can help with that. What other things do we have?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
And mainly it was,
Dustin,
I
yeah.
didn't have live leads last week because I just had too much going on, but has the
Okay.
Sydney filter been changed?
Yes.
Okay,
So-
well, okay, it might, because I'm getting some bad responses to the new one.
Are
I
you-
didn't send you a message. I mean, I've been getting that like, and I'm
Really?
like,
I
what
actually
message? So
think
I
it's
finally
better.
went in last
Uh-huh.
night and looked and I'm like, oh, because it says right there, I'm reaching out.
I actually
on
think the filter's
message you
better
sent.
because they address the time of the day. Instead of just saying good morning, if it's at night, it says good evening.
Yeah, but it says I got your message and people are like, I didn't send you a message.
I've gotten good
I've
response.
had.
No, but that, I don't think that was even,
When did you choose that?
no, but the change wasn't that. It wasn't, that's,
They just
They
changed
changed
it.
the prompt.
Yeah, that goes out to all my
Yeah.
leads too, actually. I got your message and I'm like, what? Like, I mean, they
Oh.
answered the same to me
Something's-
too, like I
something's-
just sent you a
okay, we'll
message.
take a look at it.
Yeah, there's something that's different on that initial
Okay.
text message that goes out to them.
Okay.
I
gotten this
saw the
thing
one
that
they
said
changed like the
stop.
time of the day. It'll say
Okay.
good afternoon or good evening.
Well,
or good
Yeah, which
morning,
is fine, but
But
it
it-
says I got your message.
Yeah, that's, I don't know why it
But
says,
I have to tell you, the one lady, she actually was, oh, instead of texting you, because I don't want to annoy you, then she called me, give me all the information, so it could be either way, I mean. it's-
yeah, but I still don't like that part, but anyway, what? Hi.
The photography session tomorrow, she's not coming here to take pictures of anyone, she's just coming here to talk about
Oh, that's.
professional photography and headshots. She is available to book for headshots and all that stuff, so you guys can ask her questions about any of that. She also does listing photography. So she's just gonna talk to you guys a little bit about that and the importance of having professional photos on your listings. And yeah, she's just gonna answer any
She
questions
bringing
that you guys
food?
have. Last time I spoke with her, she is bringing food. I have a call scheduled to call her around 11:30, 12 o'clock today, so I'm gonna go give her a call and confirm and let her know how many people are coming and all that stuff, so.
So if you're coming, RSVP, please.
Okay, so for the upcoming Thursday role plays that Courtney does at 10:30?
10:30.
10:30. What we're gonna do in the next couple of ones is the next one, I think we'll do the 3 questions when somebody calls on a specific property. So you guys can practice that. And then so kind of trying to incorporate these new ideas, right? So if we think about all the things we talked about today, we talked about how to address when somebody has a specific question, right? When asking, when do you want to see it? What else do you want to see? And what do you like about this property? We talked about remembering the kind of 4 parts of a call, building the rapport, discovery, using LP Mama, setting the appointment, and going in for the logical next step. We talked about if somebody gives you a long-term date that's about a year out, backing them in and scheduling something, so setting an expectation. We talked about making your intro statement, speaking with more conviction, and having a strong opening statement.
And calling with something.
We also talked about calling with a reason and not calling to just check it. So I hope you guys found that helpful. I worked really hard on this. And I hope we all convert a lot more leads. And why is it, I'm gonna kill Tove. Tove, can you stop? We're in the middle of a meeting.
Everybody's just digging away.
Yeah, we're all
My
going-
Watch is gonna die.
Yeah, I may or may not send a message after this. Please don't send messages to the in-office chat or legal when we're in the middle of a meeting. It's a little bit distracting. But anyway, thank you guys so much, everyone, for
Thank you.
joining, and see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye.